Hello, first grade readers. Yesterday, after Readers Workshop, I was thinking about you. I was thinking about how hard you've been working to use everything you know to solve problems fast. And then I realized, that's not enough. You guys need to think about the sound of your reading. You need to think of how to make your reading sound great. Well, I had a song stuck in my head as I was working in my house yesterday. You might remember it. Be the boss of your reading, be the boss. Be the boss of your reading, be the boss. And as I was thinking of those words, I was like, I don't need to tell them how to make their reading sound great. My readers can be their own boss and figure out ways to make their reading sound great all on their own. So today, we're going to do a little investigation, and I want you to listen to a recording of a book and think about the way the reader is making his reading sound great. Are you ready? Just a little bit from A Bad Case of Stripes by David Shannon. Get this started.
Camilla Cream loved lima beans, but she never ate them. All of her friends hated lima beans, and she wanted to fit in. Camilla was always worried about what other people thought of her.
All right. Did you notice how the reader was reading his words? To begin with, he just ended with, always worried about what other people thought of her. Did we have a kind of a robot sound? Always worried about what other people thought of her? And were those words all read separately? I know you guys could hear that. This reader was scooping up the words. Camilla was always worried about what other people thought of her. All right, scooping up words is one good way to make your reading sound great. Let's keep going.
Today, she was fretting even more than usual. It was the first day of school, and she couldn't decide what to wear. There were so many people to impress. She tried on 42 outfits, but none seemed quite right. She put on a pretty red dress and looked in the mirror. And then she screamed.
All right, I want you to think about the reader. Did you hear a lot of mumbling? And then No, I bet you heard, then she screamed, because the reader was reading with a voice that was loud and clear. Good way to make your reading sound great. Let's read on a little bit more.
Mother ran into the room, and she screamed too. "Oh, my heavens," she cried. "You're completely covered with stripes."
Did you hear that? Oh my heavens, she cried. You're completely covered with stripes. And you'll notice here, we have a little clue from the author. She cried. And so did you hear the reader using his voice to show that she was crying out those words? Yeah, I bet you did. Let's read on.
This was certainly true. Camilla was striped from head to toe. She looked like a rainbow. Mrs. Cream felt Camilla's forehead. "Do you feel all right?" she asked.
Do you feel all right? She asked. Did the reader use the same voice when he was Camilla's mother as when he was telling the story, or did his voice change?
"I feel fine," Camilla answered. "But just look at me." "You get back in bed this instant," her mother ordered. "You're not going to school today."
All right, I bet you could hear the reader's voice changing if he was Camilla's mother or if he was Camilla. And did you notice any kind of feeling in the mother's voice when she said, "You're not going to school today"? It wasn't just a calm, "Oh, honey, you're not going." It was a very anxious, worried mother. All right, let's read just a little bit more.
Camilla was relieved. She didn't want to miss the first day of school, but she was afraid of what the other kids might say. And she had no idea what to wear with those crazy stripes.
All right, we are going to stop at that point, and I'm going to share with you a little chart that you can look at. It's on your learning grid on Seesaw. So you can look at it on your computer or you can print it up. You might even want to keep it with some of your books so that it can remind you of some ways to sound like a really great reader. And then when you want to be your own boss, you can look at these and choose different ways to make your reading sound great. Scoop up lots of words. Look out for clues like dialogue tags, just like when Camilla's mother cried out. Change your voice to sound like the characters. Do you sound like the mother or do you sound like the little girl? Show your feelings. Are you so worried and anxious? Or are you so excited? Let your voice show feelings. If you're so sad, read some parts slow and some parts fast. That will make your voice sound interesting. And add sound effects. When Camilla screamed, do you know one thing you could do if you were reading that book? You could say, Camilla screamed, ah! And you can add that right into your reading. There might be sounds like bam or whoosh. And you always need to read loud and clear so that anyone who is listening will be able to understand you. All right, friends, you are going to have so much fun today. You already are using everything you know to solve your problems fast as you're reading along. And today, you can remember these great ways to make your reading sound great. Have fun. Off you go, readers.